Well, hello, hello. Happy Monday, everyone. It is a magical Monday. I truly hope that is the case for you, wherever you may be tuning in. Hey, ladies in the Love Lounge. I could not wait for this broadcast. And I apologize that I did not tell you what time I would be on today because I didn't really know. But I am ready to give you all my tidbits. It's really almost a mini masterclass. I'm ready to share with you all about love and money today because the correlations, the connections between your love, your heart account, and your bank account will blow your mind. But the good news is, and I've so enjoyed watching over the weekend everybody post their love lessons, money lessons, just kind of what they were taught about money growing up and what their beliefs are about money and how you get money, how you make money. So I'm looking forward to showing you the connection between how you do money and how you do love. And like I said, if you are able to heal your love story, it will also heal your bank account and your financial story as well. So I have definitely found that to be true, and I want it to be true for you as well. So I'm going to share with you just a couple of principles. And, like I said, one of the main things that I want you to know is that the way you do one thing typically is the way you do so many other things. And so the way you do love, it is going to really be very interesting if you are able to assess and evaluate yourself and see the way you do money and see how those two things play out and how it either works for you. Even though I was looking at the comments, I can see how if that's the way you do your love relationship, I can see it being very challenging and very difficult. So the first thing I want to remind you of, because a lot of this is not new, we just are so good at compartmentalizing certain issues, certain things, and I want to remind you that there is always an abundance of love and money. There is more than enough money. From what I understand, there's about 3 trillion with a T, dollars sitting in banks all across the world. So there is more than enough money in the world for you. And what I know, just because most of the ladies in this group, you all are believers. And if we believe that God is love, God is all encompassing, God is everywhere in all places, then there is also more than enough love. There is no shortage of love. And if you have a child, and I would say if you have children, you know that also to be true for yourself, because it's almost like as much as you may think, oh, I can't love another person more than this. When you look at your child for the first time, have a second one, have a third one. It's like your heart expands, it expands. And so there's more than enough love. So if there's more than enough money and there's more than enough love, why don't you have what you want? So, and the question that I want to pose to you on this Monday as we are kicking off our week is, are you open and available to receive it? Because the issue is not whether or not it's there. The issue is not whether or not it's available. The issue is whether or not you are in a posture in your life to actually receive it. And so intellectually, we very often say, yes, I am. I want it. But let's see what your behavior actually says. Because the truth of the matter is that you cannot receive above and beyond what your belief system is. So whatever it is you are believing for yourself, and if something enters into your life, whether it's a man or whether it's a tremendous financial opportunity, this is where self-sabotage comes in. You will self-sabotage, take yourself out of the game because self-consciously you don't really believe that that is for you. So I'm going to invite you to, number one, get your love tank in a space where what is flowing in your life in the realm of love will also begin to flow in your life financially. And like I said, I think what you are going to see today through some of the answers that I got from you guys over the weekend about telling me about your money story, tell me, how you relate to money, what you were taught about money. Like I said, I think you're going to start to see the correlation. So and because this is an intimate group, and most of the time I have a lot of the same folks who are commenting, I might call your name just so you understand. So one of the first responses that I got, and it's a very common response because it was also part of my response about what was I taught about money? What I was taught about money is that making money is hard, that you have to work hard for it. Am I the only one in the building that was taught that? So if you were taught that making money is hard, you have to work hard, you have to, you got to be on your grind, you got to work 3 times harder than everyone else. Some of us were told that. If that's you, just drop in the comments a 1. Yep, that was me. That's like your hand up. That was me. What I want you to assess and look at, if that has been your belief that making money is hard, I want you to also assess, have you told yourself that being in relationship is hard? Have you told yourself finding a man is hard for y'all that are single? And I know who you are, so I won't call you out, but if you have said to yourself, finding a good man is hard, I would almost venture to say that you also have the same money story that says making money is hard. If you have said being married is hard, it is so difficult, oh my goodness, then you have probably also conditioned yourself to believe that making money is hard, which means, and I'm going to call my sister V out, Vitra, who wrote that on the page, because if you believe that making money is hard, and that transfers also over into being in a love relationship is hard, what that creates for some people is an overworking, an overperformance in your relationship. So again, is that you? Is that you? You can drop a 1, say that's me. I'm working too hard in my relationship. But again, and even though you may be frustrated by how hard you are working in the relationship, if you have conditioned yourself to believe that's just how it is, this is what I have to do to get love, then you are going to perpetually find a relationship, get into a relationship, or create the dynamic where you are constantly giving more than you are receiving. Do you hear what I'm saying? You will be giving more than you are receiving because that is what is aligned with your belief system about love, that you got to work for it. So have you ever noticed whenever a relationship gets easy, if it's effortless, and for those that are dating, if there's no drama, if there's no, major communication issues, either we are bored or you will go and create what you are familiar with, because we got to make this hard, because if it's easy, then something must be wrong. Maybe this isn't love. Maybe this isn't right. So I have to go create work for me to go do. I have to create a problem, which I'm not going to get all deep in your business, but that's why some of us choose a project over a partner, because it needs to be work. It needs to be hard. But I want to free you up from that belief of work has to be hard, love has to be hard, money has to be hard, and to move and shift to the affirmation that says receiving love is so easy. Because remember what I said at the beginning of the broadcast, there's more than enough love. Look how much you love your children. Look how much you love certain people in your life. You don't cut it off after, okay, I only have 5 girlfriends. That's all the love I can stand. No, somehow you generate even more love. And so if there's more than enough love and there's $3 trillion sitting in banks, and here you are in one of the wealthiest nations in the world. And even though you may not be in that top 2%, 3%, there is a whole lot of access that is available to you if you would allow yourself to receive it. So will you let money flow into your life with ease? Or do you feel like you need to function like you're a Jamaican and have 3 jobs, and now it's all good because you're working hard enough? Okay? All right. Y'all, I can stay on all of this forever. Okay. The next one I want to bring to your attention that, oh yeah, I can't remember which sister wrote this. She said, a man has to work for me. I think that was Sister Shirley. Yes. Now, some of y'all are on the opposite end of this. And the reason why you are missing out on love is because if in your belief system is that, what did she say about money? What her money story was, my money has to work for me. My money has to work for me. And so if you are in a love relationship where you are putting a demand on a person that they feel like they got to work for you, they got to earn you, then as you know, and some of us have been in some of those kinds of relationships where whatever is being given is never quite enough because there's a person sitting back and constantly assessing, what we call it in the Love Lounge is scorecarding a man. Did you get it right? Did you get it right? Oh, no, that wasn't good enough. Go back again, try again, try again. And that type of mentality is keeping us from receiving the love that somebody else wants to give. Because again, it's that word again of somebody has to do work. There is no work in love. It is ease. It is ease. I know that is counterculture because all you've been hearing is you got to work to make a relationship work. You got to work. You got to work. And what I'm saying is part of the work is for you to be in a posture to say, I'm available. So the affirmation that I shifted and created from a man has to work for me, he has to earn me, is I am open and available for what a man has to offer. Hey, single ladies, some of us need to be open and available for what a man has to offer, as opposed to showing up to a relationship with the checklist of you got to meet this criteria, this criteria, this criteria, like the man is a car. He's not an object. And that's a whole nother Facebook Live, the objectification of a man, where it's like, this is another human being. How open and available are you to receive what a man is bringing to the table? Or do you already have him prescribed because you just need him to play a role in your story? That's a whole nother thing. But just, you can say, yep, that's me. I've been doing that. I've been doing that. And some of us even do that in marriage, that you don't have to be single for that. But if you have a prescribed thing that you are constantly trying to make your partner work for you, he has to jump through hoops. He got to swing through chandeliers. And no matter what that person does, you are never quite satisfied because it's not ever quite enough. I guarantee you that in your financial status as well, there will always be this thing where, it seems like the money isn't going far enough. It's not working hard enough for you. It's not producing what you're wanting it to produce. And so if you want to clear that energy out of your life, start being open and available for what gets presented to you. Doesn't mean you have to accept everything that gets presented to you, but to at least come to the table and say, I'm here presenting myself. Can I be open and available for what another human being wants to present to me? I love this one. Oh yeah, this is a good one. She said that the money that she has is never enough. Somebody always wants to take it. And I would venture in the same way. Look at your love relationships. Where has the love you have given not been enough? We just kind of talked about it in the reverse, in the other scenario, where someone is always wanting more. And this is where you kind of lay the foundation for what's called codependency. Codependency comes when your whole focus of the relationship is to make another person happy. Can I just tell you that you don't have the power to make another human being happy? I know for some of us, that's like huge PSA, public service announcement, because you've been trying to make people happy, but you don't have the power. Happiness is an inside job. You don't come with your kit to make them happy. And so if that has been what you are trying to do, then just like with your money, the more you give, the more bills show up. The more you give, the more it seems like you got holes in your pocket. So I want to free you up from that financial cycle that has you giving, and someone is always taking. I guarantee you, if you begin to shift in your love life and stop giving without receiving, because that is truly out of alignment, that if you give, you must receive. You must receive if you give. That's the law of sowing and reaping. You cannot sow and sow and sow and not reap. That's backwards. Something's wrong. And so if you have people in your life that you are giving and giving and giving and giving, and nothing is being produced other than your exhaustion, then we need to do something different. Same thing financially. That if all your money disappears and it just seems like you're working harder and harder and harder and there's no benefit, then we need to do it differently. And I'm just checking my notes. Okay. Oh, I love this one too. There were so many. Y'all had me on fire this weekend. My sister, Megan, said that her mom used to do checkbook roulette. Don't you love that phrase? Checkbook roulette. That's how she did her finances. And so in checkbook roulette, let's look at how that transfers over into the way you do love roulette. So the same way her mom was writing checks, whether there was money in the bank or not. And basically that means you are giving what you don't even have. Okay, trying to get something that doesn't have the value, the capacity to give back to you. So even though you got a check, there's no money. A check in itself doesn't mean there's money. Let me break it down relationship wise. Just because you got a man doesn't mean you have a healthy relationship. So there has to be other things. There has to actually be money in the bank for you to write a check, and the check can be good, because if you write bad checks, what they call that is fraud. And so some of us have been in relationships where you have the picture, you have the man per se, but there's nothing in the account. This person doesn't even call you unless it's after midnight. Is this really a relationship? This person doesn't have any intimacy to offer you. This person does not even know themselves, but you got a man. It looks like a man, just like somebody else has a check. And so I want to invite you to stop doing relationship roulette, because what ends up happening is your account is overdrawn. Don't you love that? Your account is overdrawn emotionally, because you're trying to give what you don't have and trying to get something from people who don't have it to give you. So if that's you, again, these are if you can begin to heal these areas of your love life, I guarantee you will begin to see it and play out for you financially as well. clean up these areas in your heart. And because the way you do one thing is often the way you do other things, it will begin to heal the other areas. Okay, over the weekend, let's see, what else did women write down? Oh, I love this one. I think this one was from Rashana. She said that you can have money, but you can have it, you can keep it, but you can't spend it unless others approve. And so, again, I want you to look at your interpretation, how that begins to play out in your love life. So you have love. We've already established that love is abundant. Love is free. You got more than enough. You constantly are generating it. And so you have it, but you are holding it. And love is meant to be shared. And especially if in your love relationships, the only way you can share it is if someone gives you permission. So, part of, again, what it means for you to begin to heal and to make a shift is knowing, in my notes, this is what I wrote, your heart knows who is worthy of your love. So we don't need other people's permission. And that seems to be a big thing still in this group of women waiting for permission to be who you already are, that you really don't need anyone's permission. So even though some of you guys are 40, some of you 40 plus, and you're still waiting for permission to be who you are. And so I want you to shift and recognize that what will you let yourself have? That's where we kind of started, of how good will you let life get for you? So if you have all this love on the inside, but you never give it away because of fear that it's going to be lost, you're not going to get any more. And if you're doing the same thing with your money, you're kind of hoarding it, you lose what the whole point of it is. Money is just a resource. It's just a resource. And so it's a resource and a means of exchange. And so love is meant to be shared. And the more you give, the more you get. And so we begin to kind of hold ourselves hostage as long as you are in that space where you're waiting to see who's worthy to receive it, or waiting for someone else to give you the okay that you can be free to be who you are, to be loving, to be open, to be available. And then the last one that I want to bring out, somebody said that they with their money, they have either spend a whole lot of it and then they save. So we kind of have this bipolar relationship with money, where it's like either you're treating yourself. Y'all know we have those times where it's like, I deserve it, I should just do this for myself. And then after you do it, typically you feel guilty, almost like, some kind of fad diet or something, where it's like, I feel guilty because I overindulged and now I'm going to restrict myself. And I have said many times to you all that was me in my single life as it related to love, that either I would love all over everybody. I was like a serial monogamous. Every person that I was in relationship with, I acted like that was my husband. You have all of me, just totally crazy. And then when I would get my feelings hurt, all I would do was just withdraw. Before I met my husband, I had been single for 5 years by choice because I was so wounded that I was like, I can't share myself with anybody else. And you know what we do? Let me throw myself into work. Let me throw myself into other things because this love thing doesn't work. And so if you have done the same thing with your money, I want you to check your love life. See what the correlations are. If you are, just lavish, almost, just unrestrained with your love, undiscerning, just doing stuff because you just feel it. And then you go back into a place where then it's like no one can get anything. You're like on lockdown. Okay. And so that's not a healthy place to be emotionally or financially. And so the affirmation to shift you from that space into a more healthy love space is, I am balanced. I am balanced in my love and in my life. And if you can be balanced in your love and in your life, I guarantee you, you'll start to see that show up in your bank account, that you won't have all of this, just ridiculousness all the way down to the lows. Anytime you get money, you just give it. And then all of a sudden we're down on almost a zero bank account. And it's the same thing with your love life, that you can love in balance. You don't have to continue to live in such a way where you feel like you got to do things because I deserve it now. I've kept myself, or I have, just kind of held back myself so much that now, I'm just going to throw myself out there. And very often, if you just throw yourself out there randomly, there's no telling where you're going to land. And this group right here is all about women learning how to be intentional, being intentional with the way you love, being intentional with the way you live, being intentional with your thoughts and the way you believe and the way you kind of move through life. So those are the ones. So I thank y'all for playing the game over the weekend of, telling me your money story and all of that. And I hope that this has really helped you. Like I said, there's always an abundance of love. There's an abundance of money, $3 trillion sitting in banks, love that is always overflowing. And I just want to know, again, the question, are you open and available to receive? That's the posture that you get to shift into this week as you start your week. So as you listened again to all that I was sharing, and you beginning to see yourself, hear yourself, what is it that you need to be more open and available to receive? Where are you blocking? Where are you resistant? Where are you making people work where there should be no work? Where are you working too hard? Where are you trying to be for someone what they need to be for themselves? And so it's all about love for you. And so I hope, again, this has blessed you. Let me know where you want to be more open. Let me know how I can serve you. I have something that I have been working on. And so by Wednesday, you will know more about that. If you were listening to this today and you were kind of like, oh my goodness, that is so me. Because again, my mission is to really up-level you, to help you to be the woman that you already are. Let's clear out some of this gunk, clear out some of the stuff that you got going on that's in the way of you being the powerful, loving, beautiful woman that you are. And so on Wednesday, I'll share a little bit more about that. But have a wonderful, magical Monday, ladies. And I look forward to hearing from you and talking with you soon. God bless and bye-bye.